Hi everyone, I'm Ed Highland, and this is the Big Ideas Theater here at AARC Congress, and I have the great honor now of being joined by Karen Schell, who is the 2019-2020 President for AARC.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for coming by. I want to talk, first of all, the lovely pin kind of says it all. How do we get more information? Tell us about the sunflower movement.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm from Kansas, and in Kansas, our state flower is the sunflower. And I've kind of grown up, I've been all my life in Kansas, and watching the sunflowers grow into big, beautiful flowers. So when I became a House of Delegates Speaker in 2012, I wanted to get some way to engage our membership. And so I thought about the sunflower, how it can lay dormant for years without sunshine and soil and water, and it just lays there. And if you give it a little bit of nurturing, you turn the soil, give it sunshine and water, it grows into a big, beautiful flower. And I thought, that's what our membership needs to do. They need to grow in our profession. And if we can grow one beautiful sunflower, can you imagine a whole field of beautiful sunflowers? So if everyone can think about going back home from this Congress, or even in their own community, taking the time to nurture someone and to grow them, they will grow into this profession. And once we have a big field of beautiful sunflowers, we can do things together. Because you know, when a sunflower is blooming and it's out in the sun, it follows the sunlight. So can you imagine a bunch of respiratory therapists working together following the sunlight to achieve a goal? So kind of that's my story about the sunflower. And if you notice around the Congress, I hope you do, that sunflower pins are showing up everywhere. I want you to take the time to stop and ask about that sunflower and how you can become engaged. And if you'd like to take sunflowers home, I brought a bunch with me, and I've been distributing them as I've been here, but I'd be glad to send you some once you get home, and you can share with your fellow workers.
Now there's an offer you can't refuse.
Right.
So you talked a little bit about membership, you talked about engagement, which is all important. How do we combine the two of those? How do we get folks more involved?
Well, you know, that's our responsibility as a professional, is to grow out into our own backyard and engage and mentor our future leaders. If it hadn't been for me to come to a Congress many, many years ago and someone take interest in me, I would have never progressed up into the leadership role. And I think it's important for us as individuals, whether it be one person or a group of people, to take the time to learn a little bit about them, learn how you can help them grow and bring their strengths up, but also help them nurture their weaknesses so they become a stronger person.
So the average person may say, you know, I'm just an RT, I'm a small fish. I'm a small fish in a big hospital or a big facility, something along those lines.
First thing, we're not just an RT. We have to be our own best advocate, and if we can't go out there and talk about what we can do and what we have in our own knowledge bank, then that's a problem. So I think you need to step out of your comfort zone and let them know what you can do and how you can do it and what your education is and who you're there for, especially for the patient. We want to do what's best for the patient, and the only way we can do something that's best for our patient is to become more engaged, more educated, and more proactive in tooting our own horn, right?
Can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the different state initiatives, things that are going on in individual locations as examples?
So I think it's really interesting to see how people address membership, but I think what's really important is that one-on-one contact, and as long as you can find someone in your own backyard, like I said before, if you can mentor just one person and then that person mentors another person and another person, it eventually grows. So that's one way. And I think there's a lot of state societies that we really need to go out and, again, toot our horn about what the AARC has to offer for them. For me, it's been a knowledge bank, and get on to the AARC Connect and share that knowledge. If we want to get more members, we have to ask them to come join us and not just walk by them. And the only way that you can ask them to join them is to get to know them. And getting to know them, then you can help them foster their growth. So I think it's important. As far as state society, I know there's been different levels. We do a membership drive in every state. In some states, it's at their state meeting. In our state in the past, we've actually taken board members and driven to different hospitals and had a traveling road show and asked them to become part of our state society. So we divided up the state into sections, drove the car out to their hospital, engaged with them at their workplace, and asked them to join along with us. So
you see a lot of students here.
Yes, isn't that wonderful?
It is wonderful. What kind of advice are you sharing with some of the new graduates, for example?
Well, I think, fortunately, I'm an educator now. I used to manage a department, but fortunately, having them come to this convention is something that really is beneficial for them, because I think it starts the fire within their belly. It's going to see, because they get to see other professionals and grow. And I would encourage them to step out of their comfort zone and reach out to the experts here and be able to get a better understanding of where their future may lead them, because it's not one thing respiratory has to offer. There's many opportunities, and until you explore them, you'll never know what they are. And by being here and talking to individuals, you can learn those possibilities. I told you that I've been coming for a long time. I came as a student to begin with.
I was going to ask how you got involved. Did you have a mentor, someone who?
Yes, I had several mentors. I came up the OJT path. My very first respiratory experience was a phone call from a hospital and asked me if I wanted to be an inhalation therapist, and I had no idea what it was. And I got into the field through, at that time, an OJT, and I knew at that time I needed a better education, so I reached out to a local community, and my first professor, who took me under her wing and saw my potential, helped me grow as an individual, and suggested I come to a national meeting. And that's, like I said, I've been to every one since. So.
You're coming to the field at a very exciting time, not in the field, into the leadership role in a very exciting time. And maybe you've got some plans. I mean, you've got big shoes to fill, first of all, and then you're going into 2019 and 2020.
Oh, this is a very exciting time. All I want to say is, wow, we got the opportunity of a lifetime, and too bad I'm as old as I am, because I could like to start it up. But I think there's
just a number, right?
Just a number. I think there is so much potential for us to be brought into arenas that we've never been in before, and we have the skill and the knowledge. We all know that because of our education, but we have to make a voice for ourselves. We have to get out there and let them know our skills. I think interprofessional education is a way to do that, being actively working and learning alongside our providers that we're going to be working with in the future. They see how important we are part of that team. I think also that, again, being there as the patient advocate, letting the patient do our marketing, basically, because I know the patients I care for are appreciative, that I have cared for, are very appreciative of what I've given them, and they can be our best sounding horn in showing what we're capable of. There's a lot to do as we reach out to other organizations to show our expertise. You need to be at the table to be able to be part of the game, and so reach out to those committees that you've never sat on before. I mean, there's opportunities on ethics, on managed care. There's all these different opportunities, but we have to be excited and willing to step out of our comfort zone, because it's foreign to us.
Many opportunities, whether you're a new grad or even a student coming on into to the field.
Right, or someone is like me who's been in the field forever. I just get excited every time I come to Congress, because when I go back home, I have all this energy of how we can make changes and make things better for our patients at home.
For Karen Schell, we're looking forward to the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time.
You're
this
welcome.
is the Big Ideas Theater at the AARC Congress.